How you going, folks? My turn to cook this afternoon, but I've got to tell you I'm in a bit of a pickle. Now, the main reason is that everyone else has cooked up until this point and every meal has been smashing, so the bar is set pretty high. Now, I've gone to the fridge this afternoon and I've gone to the pantry this afternoon, and both are getting rather bare. So I've been left with what I've been left with, and I will be creating for everyone today roadkill stew. There's not a lot in there. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chop up some spuds because we've got some of those, and no one ever whinges about a spud, do they? The next thing I've done is I've knocked a couple of noses off of a couple of snowmen. So carrots, and again, we're just gonna chop those up. And then of course, it wouldn't be a stew without an onion, would it? I've got a couple of those, so I'm gonna dice those up. And I always cry when I cut up onions, not because of the fumes coming out of the onions. I just always feel for the onion, you know. Is it fair on them? I don't know, but it always upsets me. All right, there's the veggies in. Now, the next thing I'm gonna do is add some rubs. Now, I know we're not cooking meat right now as we normally would with rubs, but inside this jar, which is great southern lamb of Macca's seasoning rubs, has got garlic, it's got mint, it's got rosemary, it's got all sorts of good stuff. You just give it a bit of a shake in on the veggies, and all your flavours right there in the jar. And the next thing I'm going to do, give him a little splash of olive oil, just to lubricate it. Any good engine needs lubrication, always remember that. And this tonight, this is the roadkill engine. I'm going to get that on, and I'm going to let that heat up, and I'm just going to brown off that onion before I add the meat. The leftover meat, which was all there was in the fridge, as I said. All right, we'll get that on the fire. Now, my aim was never to create a vegan dish, so I will now start to introduce the meat. Now, in our leftovers, we've got some pork ribs, some chicken drumsticks, and, oh, there you go, some steak. So there you go, it's gonna be a bit of a mixed grill roadkill stew, so we've got a bit of everything. I'll just start cutting them up into smaller pieces so they can go in there with the veggies, and then we'll just let it simmer for a couple of hours next to the fire. Everyone's going to be impressed. Like I said, it's going to be a tough call because everyone else has cooked some magnificent meals up to this point. We'll see how we go when the judges come in, and I'll tell you right now, judges around here, pretty tough. Righto, first a few ribs. I'm going to tell them they're off a kangaroo. And, oh yeah, emu legs. I don't know what this lot did with the rest of the chicken, but they've got a lot of legs left over. Looking good in there. Righto, so in that heavily depleted pantry I spoke about earlier, found a couple of tins of good old chicken soup. Now I'll tell you, this is actually a great base for a lot of casseroles. Always handy to carry a couple in the van. Worst case scenario, you can get lazy and just make a bowl of chicken soup. And finally, just a bit of chicken stock. Oh, and a couple of leaves that just blew in while I was waiting. It all helps with the flavour. And one of the good things about cooking outside, pick him up later. Try that in the kitchen at home and see what Mum says. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give that a little stir up, and then we're going to take it off the side of the fire and we'll let that simmer for a couple of hours. The longer, the better, because all those flavours are going to come together and end up something pretty specky. Well, the team are starting to make a few noises. It sounds like they're getting hungry, and I reckon this has got to be pretty close. Let's have a little look and see how we're going, eh? I'll tell you what, that smells all right.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
That's nice.
Hear that?
Well done, Macca.
That's nice. Not bad considering there's nothing left in the fridge.
And what a great meal we had tonight, Macca.
Mate, I thought I'd put it together nicely, even though you guys did all the work. It was really just leftovers after all, wasn't it? What a way to wrap up this episode of the Century Batteries Tough Tour, which is of course brought to you by all our partners on the screen and the team sitting here tonight enjoying the fire with me. There'll be plenty more Century Batteries Tough Tour coming up next time, so we'll catch you then as we show you what's up down under. Oh, come on. Where are you, Ruby? What happened this week? She's having the week off. We'll see you next time. Ruby will talk to you then.
What's up down under?